Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Big Ten Under 10 on the Hoosier Network. I'm Adam Opp, and I'm with, of course, Graham Nash, and today we will be breaking down women's sports, starting on the diamond with softball. Here are the scores. Starting with the biggest series so far this year in Big Ten softball, number 5 Oregon took 2 of 3 from 8th-ranked UCLA in Eugene, with 2 games ending in less than 7 innings. That now means the Ducks sit atop the Big Ten rankings at 14-2, while UCLA falls to 13-3. Other ranked teams in action include number 21 Nebraska, who split a 2-game set at home against Indiana. After losing the first game 6-2, they ended the second game 12-4 in just 5 innings. The 22nd ranked Ohio State Buckeyes currently are on the highest win streak in the Big Ten as they have won their last 6 games. That includes sweeping rival Michigan, the 3 games in Columbus. Graham, we'll turn to you. What do you make of the Oregon-UCLA series?
You know, I'm not surprised Oregon won, frankly. We talked about it in the preview last week. They were at home. UCLA had to go to Eugene, so it makes sense. The advantage was tipped a little bit in Oregon's favor. I am, however, very surprised by the scores of the game. I was not expecting 2 of the highest, or the powerhouses, the offensive powerhouses in the country to be kind of shut down like that. I mean, 2 games were run-ruled. Yes, found it. 2 games were run-ruled, and both of those, the losing team did not score a single run. That is unbelievable. And then also, neither team reached double digits in any of the 3 games. The offenses were shut down and shut out. I don't know why. The pitching must have been pretty phenomenal. That's exactly right. Pitching was good, but definitely not expecting 2 blowouts. I was expecting a closer game like we got in Game 1. It was a 2-run win for Oregon. They won 3-1. I was expecting that the rest of the way, but neither team reached double-digit runs in any of the 3 games. We had 2 run rules. I was shocked by that.
Let's move on to another ranked team. That's the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Now, 3 of their past 5 games have ended in 5 innings. First off, what makes them so successful, and could you see them winning against an Oregon or a UCLA team? And keep in mind, they did play UCLA 1 time this year, and they got crushed, but...
Yeah, well, their offense is impressive. I think it all starts there. They've got a team average of .354, which is second best in the Big Ten, interestingly, behind Indiana. It's not even Oregon or UCLA. It's the Indiana Hoosiers. And all of their consistent starters hit above 300, with 3 of their consistent starters hitting above 400. So Nebraska's bats are pretty darn impressive. More than that, though, they're just good at getting on base. They've got the 5th best on-base percentage in the conference, so they're good at getting themselves in opportunities where they can bring those runners around. But you look at the other side of the ball, the defense is also good. They're just a good team top to bottom. They've got the 3rd best ERA in the Big Ten at .250. They do the little things right. They've walked the 5th fewest batters in the Big Ten this season. That is huge. You've got to do that. You've got to do the little things right when you don't have the firepower like UCLA or Oregon. Now, I think they have the best chance to compete with UCLA and or Oregon. I don't know if they can win a series. I think they could definitely win a one-off if we're getting in a tournament time and it's a 1v1, 1-game March Madness style. I think they could win that. But a 3-game series, I think it's going to be tough.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about Oregon and UCLA, and the talk's not going to stop just yet. We have one more question, and that is referencing the Ohio State Buckeyes. They got crushed earlier this year twice against UCLA. They've been hot as of late. Do they have any chance to beat Oregon or UCLA earlier? Or later, I should say.
Later. It's tough. You've got to factor in that they struggled against UCLA earlier in the season. OSU was 4-5 against Power 4 teams in pre-Big Ten conference play. I think only 3 of those were ranked matchups as well.
But it's getting hot at the right time.
It is getting hot at the right time. It is getting hot at the right time. No. I appreciate it. You're playing devil's advocate. You're on my shoulder. You're just like whispering sweet nothings into my ear. No, I think that they are getting hot at the right time. But just based on what we've seen, it's hard for me to confidently say that they can compete. They did not get close to UCLA at all. They got shut out and then run-ruled in their 2 games against the Bruins. And then also, they've just struggled at interesting times. They've struggled against teams that aren't necessarily at the top of the Big Ten. That was earlier in the season, so they could be peaking. But just with how the season started and how they've looked against the best teams in the country, I'm not convinced that they're going to have the firepower.
Yeah, it's all about how you match up against the best teams. So that's enough softball talk for now. Let's move over to golf, where the Big Ten had their Big Ten championship over the weekend, and it was a dominant result. The 5th-ranked Oregon Ducks finished 12 under par and shot a ridiculous 12 under on round 3 alone. The Ducks were followed by number 24 Michigan State, who were 2 over par. They had a terrific round 2 with the Big Ten best 7 under. A pretty shocking result in 3rd as unranked Illinois finished at 6 over. Other ranked Big Ten teams include number 14 Ohio State, who is 4th at 9 over, following the Buckeyes with 12th ranked Northwestern in 5th place at 10 over. The most disappointing team in the Big Ten was 9th ranked USC, who finished in 9th at 20 strokes over par. Let's keep it right here and move to the courts to talk about tennis for the last sport we will cover on today's show. Number 3, Michigan picked up 2 huge wins against their rivals. They took down 9th-ranked Ohio State in Columbus 4-1, and then they beat Michigan State back in Ann Arbor 4-0. Number 9, Ohio State bounced back nicely with victories over Wisconsin 4-0 and Minnesota 4-1. Number 16, UCLA had a huge win over 17th-ranked USC 4-2, and they destroyed Rutgers 5-0. The Scarlet Knights also got crushed by 17th-ranked USC 4-0. For number 18, Washington, they beat 2 unranked teams over the weekend. The scores were 4-3 against Nebraska and 4-0 versus Iowa. For 23rd-rated Wisconsin, they ended the weekend 1-1 after losing to the Buckeyes. They defeated Penn State 4-0. And that's going to wrap up today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Big thanks to our producer, Colin Dusek, for making all of this possible. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at B1G_under10. And come back next week for our next episode of Big Ten Under 10.